Basically, unofficially, I started DSR when I released DR's first album. I think it was about 2000, and I basically just put the name Demonstealer Records there because a friend of mine said, "You know what? Demonstealer sounds better as a record label and not as your name." So I was like, "Okay, I might as well have a Demonstealer Records as well." So that's how it unofficially started. Then with Hussein as Barcode, we sort of did two releases: the Reptilian Death album and Resurrection, the compilation. But then around 2005, when DR was doing the second album, I said, you know what, I need to do this a little more professionally. So since the album was going to be professionally recorded, artwork, professionally pressed CDs as opposed to burnt discs as we'd been doing previously. So I said, you know what, let's just get Demonstealer Records up and running as a proper label, and let's also put in some money and get some other bands on the label as well. So that's how Demonstealer Records was formed, which is around 2005.
What were the genres of music that that DSR puts out?
See, basically, the whole idea was extreme metal with little headroom either side to sort of figure out what bands to get. So we had Accurate Semblance and Fine Tune Disasters, the compilation done in 2005 itself, I think, along with the DR album. So basically kept it open as long as it's extreme metal, it's good.
Okay. Uh, what it? Okay. You've been releasing international artists in India, international CDs in India. So how did those deals happen for DSR?
Basically, when Darkness Descends was released, I sort of tied up with a whole bunch of labels abroad, to sort of trade CDs, as I would put it. So I send them my stuff to sell there, and they send me their stuff to sell here. So that's how the distro came about. Actually, there are a lot of guys who were doing it before also. Guys like Vikram Bhatt in Bangalore from Muslim Holiday. He used to run a distro called Nutcracker Records, and he used to sell grindcore CDs and stuff in India. So I think I just did it on a little larger scale, a little more mainstream. I had better networks, and and that time when Vikram and all were doing it, there was no real internet connectivity, and there was not so many forums and social networking sites, and all. It was just personal contacts. Yeah. So that's how the international distro came about.
Yeah. Uh, when an art when a new artist comes up, what do you look for in an artist before signing it up?
I basically look for bands that are somewhat established that I can sell, because at the end of the day, I do need to sell all the CDs that I make. If I don't, then the purpose is kind of lost. So when we did FTD, that time Skin Cold was an upcoming band and they were doing really well. Big Slap was also doing okay. Amidst the Chaos was doing well, and BM and Scribe were also pretty much established. So sort of put all the bands together, and that's how that compilation came out. And later, then when we did the Defaced and Split album, it was Exhumation. Narcil was a new band at that time, but since there were such good musicians in the band, I figured, So I look for bands that are already somewhat established, that have capable musicians and that write good songs. Basically, when I hear those songs, I need to go, wow. That's the only time I can truly sign an artist song, because um, it's still only being run by me single-handedly. I've got a couple of guys helping me out uh, who are taking care of certain aspects of the label, but still the majority of the work I'm handling. So it's a little difficult for me. Also, the financial investment and having a day job on the side not make it feasible to constantly release new metal bands. So it's very select artists that I release.
Uh, some of some of your previous artists like BM, Scribe, Exhumation are now on GNS. So, which are the artists that you currently have on your roster?
The main thing with DSR is that we basically do one-off albums or one-off EPs. And like I said, when we started, there was nobody else doing the having a label that supports extreme metal. So it was just, I think, a natural thing for me to launch all the big bands. Mind Snare, Third Sovereign, Accurate Semblance, BM, Scribe, Narcil, Exhumation. Everybody released with me because I was the only person able to do it. At that point. And I guess all my deals were for just one album. And now I've been kind of busy So there's Grain Sorin who's taking care of not just releasing artists but managing them as well. So that's, I think, that's okay with me. I mean, that's cool. Right now I basically have DR and workshop on the label.
Okay. Uh, Tell us something about the Behemoth release. How did it happen?
The Behemoth release, basically, I think DSR has got some visibility abroad, and through contacts or whatever, they found out that uh, I'm one of the main labels in India for extreme music. Management just got in touch with me, wanted to see if I was interested in releasing the new album. I figured, it seemed an interesting opportunity, and it sort of made sense to try it out at least and see if the Indian market was ready for this kind of release. So it's an experiment. Let's see. Hopefully, it will go out well.
Okay. Uh, how many copies of the Behemoth album have you released, and what do you? Okay, yes. I've lost my train of thought.
Basically, the Behemoth album is a limited edition. It's going to be only 1,000 copies of the black box, and I probably won't repress it because, like I said, CD buying is becoming almost obsolete now. Everyone just wants to download the album for free. But yeah, thousand copies is what it is.
Okay. Basically, when Behemoth approached you, it must have been only for the CD. How did you crack a sticker and the poster, the black box limited edition thing?
See, basically, when Behemoth approached me, I kind of made it very clear to them that the Indian market is not like abroad. People pay less money for CDs. They're not used to paying 12 $13. That's 600 $700 for a CD. And also the album would probably have been downloaded, and you know once people have it, they need a little more than just a CD booklet to entice them to buy the album. So I figured, let's do something special for India. I pitched it to them. I said, this is the absolute what minimum requirement I have, because see, the DVD also I couldn't get because that costs additional, and that was very expensive. So I figured out making a black box with a postal sticker would be something that like a collector's item. So they were pretty cool to give me permission about it. No problem.
Okay. Uh, okay. Since it's been around since 2000, what are the biggest changes that DSR has noticed in the music scene
As a label.
as a label?
The first and foremost thing is that there are bands writing music now. From the time when there was no music to release, there is now music to release, and every band is doing it, whether it's independently or through a label. In terms of purchasing, I'm seeing numbers are more or less the same. People are still, I mean, same number of people are buying, but people are spending a little more now. Bands are also pricing the CDs a little higher up, and investing a little more in the recording. So the quality of the products that are being released are improving, and people are buying, and hopefully the numbers will be better in the future.
Um, as DSR, what do you think about the lack of female artists in the music industry?
Uh, when it comes to
I forgot to ask that.
with female artists, I've never really looked at it as, oh, there's female, male, whatever. I mean, there's never been too many women metal musicians anyway. There have been a whole bunch, but not obviously as many as men. So I guess it's the same in India. The ratio is, I mean, there's Yasmin and there's a couple of new girls in Delhi who are in bands, and there are I don't know if there's anyone in Bombay right now, but I mean, there are a few always. There was Cryptic who had Durga on drums, and there was this girl called Chinmay who played guitar in Arcane Ritual, and her sister, I think, played in some other band. So there have been artists, they'll come and go. I mean, it's always going to be a more male dominated music genre anyway.
Okay. As a record label, actually more as a person who is in the music industry, do you think it makes more sense to sign up artists for live playing rather than for studios?
See, in terms of making money, yes, definitely managing a band is way more fruitful because bands generally play shows. you can't replace a show. You can't pirate a show. You have to attend it. You bands get paid. That's how all bands, in fact, make a living now. Is constant touring. So if you have a good band that plays regularly, then definitely you are looking at regular revenue, which obviously in turn will help your label in some way or the other. So that is a good thing. But um, obviously, releasing an album has its own charm. But yeah, that's not money making advice. You have to get a little more innovative and find new marketing strategies to make it work. Yeah. Like I think recently BM got Happy Fist to pay for the entire production of the CD. So things like that are going to change the feasibility of releasing albums for bands.
Okay, uh, what should every Indian artist know about self promotion, you know, and marketing? Because the new bands that come up, they face a lot of problems coming out in the open unless you have the right contacts, like someone who's in the scene who can help around with the promotions and stuff. So what is your message to the new bands?
Basically, you need to be persistent and you need to really, really connect with people. I mean, I think it just takes a lot of persistence and constantly pushing your band's music, and more importantly, have the music to back it up. It's very easy to go and post on Facebook and all good these days. Everyone is doing that. So you need to find you need to have quality music. Today there are 30 bands posting their new songs on Orkut. Why is everyone only downloading the Inner Sanctum song? Because that music is kicked everyone in the nuts. So it's people talk about it then, and that's why your music spreads. So if you just go spam the fuck out of the world, you're not going to get as much out of it unless you have that product to back it up. So basically, yeah, write good music first, then promote yourself.
How should they promote themselves?
You need to just basically be an online whore. You got to be on Facebook, Orkut, Twitter, MSN, Gtalk. You need to make good press kits. Send it to companies. Alternatively, there are options of buying. Signing up with promotion companies. You pay them for say 3 months of promotion. They get you interviews, etc., etc. But generally, if you have the music, all the rest of the stuff becomes a lot easier. You just need to make sure that you are visible.
What are the future plans for DSR?
Currently, the new DR album, the Behemoth album, and Workshops album are basically I have my hands full with that. Next year still not been planned completely because all these albums need to be released, sold, and probably next year let's see we might come up with some innovative things to do and maybe sign on some new bands as well, some good new bands from India.
Yeah. Um,
How did the deal with getting a band from Pakistan, a band from Bangladesh work?
I had actually been in touch with Severe Dementia for a while, and they had expressed interest in coming down to Bombay, and they sent me a demo CD, and I was like quite impressed with it. So I said, let's do a release. DR had an EP to release, and Severe Dementia also had their EP out, and I recall Dusk had recently also released an EP. So I said, let's just do a subcontinent kind of release, and I spoke to all the bands. They were cool about it. I had also been sent some demos from Singapore by Helmsky. So I just put them on as a bonus track and pretty much the album was out. And then Severe Dementia came and played at Resurrection 7, so worked out well for me.
uh, yeah. This is completely off. Okay. This is the question just for you. Tell us something about Sahil, the Demonstealer Makhija, the person who juggles DR, DSR, Barcode Entertainment, Portados, and I don't know what else, Rolling Stones, and yeah, I don't know. This just goes on. How do you do that?
Nothing, I mean, there's nothing special to what I do. It's just basically a dream that I had, and I'm just out to achieve that. Yeah. And I do whatever it takes to make that happen. The main thing is I've just been persistent over the years. It's very easy to say, okay, fuck it. I mean, there were points where I was like, man, is it really worth doing it? Even today, when you invest so much money in a behemoth album and release it, and if it doesn't sell, you feel like giving up. But it's just the persistence that keeps me. I mean, as long as I keep going, I'll manage doing whatever I have to do.
What were the biggest problems you faced when you got into the music industry in '99, I guess? Not just no, not just as DR, but before that, as an audience, you know, what are the biggest problems you faced, and then step gradually, what are the biggest problems you faced with DSR and stuff?
When I started out, I really had no problems. I have been blessed to have really wonderful parents and a great family. They have constantly supported me since I mean, my mom sent me for guitar classes when I wanted to learn. My granddad, gave me enough money on my birthday to buy a first guitar with. And so my parents have really supported me, even though when I dropped out of college, there was a bit of friction. We had a couple of fights, but I was able to show them that there was potential in what I'm doing. So the main reason I've gotten so far is because I've had a family that supported me, and not to mention not to forget my girlfriend, who also along the way has been instrumental in shaping up, my life the way it's been. As a My main problems have been as a band with DR to get musicians who basically stay with the band. The constant lineup changes has been the biggest hindrance, because by now I would have liked to have done at least 5 to 6 albums, you know. But that has been a problem with DSR. I've just been able to make the right decisions, financially, so that I don't end up losing money and stuff like that. But it's been a lot of hard work and a lot of sitting at CD stalls for 12 hours and all that shit. But I don't consider that much of a problem. I mean, it's something you got to do.
One question.
Yeah, with DSR, another big problem is people don't buy. Everyone's a cheap bastard and wants something free.
I lost a question somewhere.
Uh, Nitin, was it? Yeah, Nitin, Fate guitarist used to tell us that they used to pick on you when you used to come for the shows like that.
Yeah, yes.
What's that about?
Nothing. I mean, there's the class bully and there's the bakra. So I guess for the first 4 or 5 years, I was the bakra. I was the young 18-year-old kid. These are all 21, 22. They'd been in the scene for a year or whatever. So it's natural. I mean, today the other guys who's asked me take care. Everyone has whatever.
So do you see a Sai Mukhijan, one of them? Any one of them?
Not really seen. I mean, no one's. I don't see any any clone or a junior version of myself yet. I haven't met anyone like that yet. Maybe Ashwin Sharma comes in close, but